You know that coworker who just pulled into the parking lot in a brand new luxury SUV, talking about their investment portfolio at every happy hour, always wearing what looks like designer everything? Here is something that might blow your mind. There is a very real chance they have less money saved than you do, not a little less, a lot less. Studies show Americans are collectively sitting on over $1 trillion in credit card debt, yet luxury car sales and designer brand revenue keep climbing every single year. The math does not add up unless you understand what is actually happening. A massive wave of people have learned to perform wealth without actually building it, and if you cannot spot the difference, it could cost you your own financial future. My name is not important right now. What is important is that I have spent years studying the psychology and behavior of money, and I can tell you with complete confidence that the signals people use to look rich are almost completely disconnected from what actual wealth looks like. Here is what you are going to walk away with today: 10 specific, identifiable red flags that someone is faking their wealth. And I promise you, by the time we get to number 7, something is going to click in a way that genuinely changes how you see money. The last point on this list is the one that trips up the most financially intelligent people, so stay until the end because it is the insight that matters most. Red flag number 1. The entry-level luxury trap. Walk through any parking lot and you will spot this immediately. The base model of the most prestigious brand, no upgrades, no added features, just the badge on the hood. Here is the thing people miss though. That entry-level luxury vehicle often costs the same as a fully loaded version of a practical, reliable brand, but with dramatically higher maintenance, premium fuel requirements, and steeper insurance premiums. Someone actually building wealth runs the numbers. Someone performing wealth just wants the emblem. The takeaway is simple. When you see the cheapest version of an expensive brand, that is almost never a smart financial choice. It is a status purchase disguised as a car purchase. And speaking of performing for the crowd, that brings us to number 2. Red flag number 2, they only talk about money they have not made yet. There is a specific pattern here that once you notice, you cannot unsee. Everything is future tense: a deal closing next month, an investment about to pay off, something huge in the works. The reason it is always future tense is because the present reality does not match the image they want to project. Real money sits in an account. It does not live in projections. And watch for the related tell where someone confuses revenue with actual income, bragging about what their business grosses while quietly omitting what they actually take home. Genuinely secure people do not need to tell you how well they are about to be doing. Their results speak, or they simply do not bring it up. Red flag number 3. The purchase that costs more than their emergency fund. There is an old financial rule worth remembering. If you cannot comfortably buy something twice, you probably cannot truly afford it. When someone is carrying a bag worth several $1,000s, but their savings account has less than a month of expenses in it, that purchase is not celebrating success. It is costuming for success that has not arrived yet. What makes this particularly damaging is that people sometimes finance these purchases, paying interest every month on something that is depreciating in value the whole time. By the time that item is paid off, they spent significantly more than the price tag for something worth a fraction of what they originally paid. Red flag number 4, the one-upper who cannot let a win belong to you. You close on your first home, and before anyone can say congratulations, this person is already explaining why their first property was bigger and how yours might not appreciate properly. You mention a new client, and suddenly the conversation is about the bigger deal they closed last quarter. This is not normal conversation. It is compulsive financial competition, and it comes entirely from insecurity. Someone genuinely secure in their financial life can celebrate your victories without feeling diminished. The one-upper needs every interaction to confirm their superiority because without that external confirmation, the internal story starts to crack. Red flag number 5, the perfectly curated wealth performance on social media. Here is an uncomfortable truth. Showing off spending generates more engagement than showing disciplined saving. A video titled "Spending $1,000 at the mall with me" outperforms one about adding to an index fund every single time. This creates a deeply perverse incentive. People learn that projecting wealth earns attention regardless of whether that wealth exists, so they craft a highlight reel designed to look like their everyday life. Meanwhile, actual wealthy people tend to have minimal or boring social media. They have nothing to prove and no particular interest in strangers validating their financial choices. Still with me? Good, because this next section is where most people genuinely go wrong, and it is one of the most normalized traps in modern personal finance. Red flag number 6, perpetually leasing luxury vehicles. Leasing has become so normalized that people do not even register it as a financial warning sign anymore. But here is what leasing actually means. You pay for the most expensive years of a vehicle's depreciation cycle and then hand the car back with zero equity. Then you do it again and again. Someone who leases continuously for 2 decades can spend an enormous amount of money and own absolutely nothing at the end of it. The appeal is obvious. The monthly payment makes an expensive car feel affordable. What it hides is that you are essentially renting status indefinitely, building no ownership, no equity, and no financial foundation whatsoever. Red flag number 7, the counterfeit goods tell. This is the one most people fall for because they assume it does not matter. Someone carrying a fake designer item is not making a harmless fashion choice. They are literally demonstrating that the appearance of wealth matters more to them than actual quality or honest self-representation. Here's the irony, though. A halfway decent knockoff can cost $200 or $300. For exactly that money, you could own something genuinely well-made and original from a brand you can actually afford. The fact that someone chooses the counterfeit reveals the motivation completely. It was never about the craftsmanship. It was always entirely about the logo, and the people you are trying to impress with it can usually spot it immediately anyway. Red flag number 8, always promoting the next big opportunity. Not obvious scams. Those are easy to dismiss. The slightly too good schemes that sound almost plausible, crypto strategies, various trading systems, multi-level structures, whatever revolutionary thing is circulating this particular month. The fake wealthy love these because they exist in future tense potential. They are not talking about what they have built. They are always talking about what they are about to build. The pattern is predictable. 6 months later, they have quietly moved on to something new, equally confident, never acknowledging the previous loss. Real wealth accumulates slowly and without drama. But slow and undramatic does not match the identity that needs to be maintained. Red flag number 9, unsolicited condescending financial advice. Different from one-upping, but connected to the same root insecurity. This person actively critiques your financial choices, not because they care about your outcome, but because your different approach threatens the story they tell themselves about their own decisions. You are saving aggressively and they tell you the money should be working harder. You are happy in your apartment and they suggest you should have upgraded by now. The advice is always unsolicited and always points toward whatever they themselves chose. Someone who genuinely understands finance knows that different strategies work for different people in different circumstances. The person who needs you to validate their choices by making the same ones has not actually figured it out yet. Now here is the one that matters most. The insight I saved specifically for the people who stayed through this whole video. Red flag number 10, the internal filter that makes everything worse. This is deeper than any single behavior. The fake wealthy run every single financial decision through one specific question, and that question is this. How will this look to other people? Will this signal success? Will this make me appear to be someone who has made it? Every purchase, every car choice, every social post, everything filtered through external perception. And here is why this is so financially destructive. Every dollar spent optimizing for how things look is a dollar that did not go toward actually building anything real. The person performing wealth gets caught on a treadmill that accelerates over time. The luxury car needs maintaining. The wardrobe needs updating. The lifestyle performance needs feeding every single month. Meanwhile, compounding returns, investment growth, and genuine financial security are all happening for someone else. The truly wealthy optimize for a completely different question. Does this decision move me toward the freedom I actually want? That mental shift from performing wealth to building it is where real financial change begins. So here is what I want you to do right now. Drop a comment below and tell me honestly, which of these red flags have you personally caught yourself doing even once? There is no judgment here, we have all been there, I want to know. If this video gave you a genuinely new way to look at money and the people around you, subscribe to this channel because this is exactly the kind of content we bring you every single week. Real financial insight without the boring textbook version of it. And if you want to go deeper on actually building wealth rather than just recognizing fake wealth, watch the video coming up next on screen right now.